James left home when he was young on a scholarship to study in a foreign country. He was given a one-way ticket as his family was poor. Over time, he finished his studies and settled in his new land. He became very successful and lost touch with his family back home while he was focusing on building his life. James was raised a very devout Christian from young, and his new home was a majority Christian nation. It was a perfect environment for him to grow in his faith. He was very active in his church and was diligent in giving and serving. In the past few years, there has been a growing Muslim migrant community in the city where he lived. The demographic of the city was changing. This upset him a lot as he saw their influence in contradiction to the Christian values of his nation. He joined a movement that organized protests all over the city where Muslims lived, demanding that they convert to Christianity or leave the city. James was very pleased because the protests were very successful. A minority of the Muslims did convert, while a majority left the city. The ones who remained were too few to ever be a threat. It was around this time that James began to miss his family and the home of his childhood. He realized that he focused so much on trying to build a new life in a new country that he had forgotten his roots. So he organized a trip back to the land of his birth, planning to surprise his family and to show them how well he had made it in life. He landed in his motherland, and as his taxi got into the city, it got stuck in a traffic jam caused by a massive protest that was going on. He got out of the car to find out what it was all about. Through the placards and the chants of the crowd, he worked out that they were Muslims who were protesting the growth of the Christian minority in the country. They were demanding that Christians convert to Islam or leave. Suddenly, in the midst of the rowdy, chanting crowd, he could barely recognize him, but it was his dad. He pushed his way through the crowd. When he came face to face, the man could not recognize him until he said, "Dad?" Instantly, the man's eyes widened. He grabbed James and hugged him, and they had a teary reunion. James asked his father why he was part of this protest that was persecuting Christians. After all, it was his father who raised him as a Christian and taught him everything he knew about Christianity. His father replied, "Son, before you were born, we were all Muslims, but we were a minority. The Christian majority forced us to convert at the threat of our lives. We had no choice. But now the Muslims are the majority and we no longer need to hide. Son, it is now safe for you to be a Muslim again, just like the rest of your family."